Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Good afternoon, baseball fans. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Jay Dash. Thanks for tuning in to The Spread. We're going to do our prospect check this week. Who do we got going, Dash?
The Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager and the Mets starting pitcher Steven Matz.
If this is the first prospect check you've listened to, we always do one hitter and one pitcher each week. We've done about 9 different pairs, I think, so far for the season, so you can go back and check all those out. Feel free to check out all our other baseball segments, the best baseball coverage on the net going right now.
Please believe. Let's start off with Corey Seager, though. He is one of the top prospects in all of baseball, according to mostly everyone. He's number 5 on Baseball America and number 5 on MLB.com.
So everybody who matters, at least.
Yeah, this is the younger brother of Seattle Mariners third baseman Cal Seager.
6'4", 215. Good Lord.
Yeah, he's a beast. Just 21 years old. He bats left-handed, throws right-handed. He was the 18th overall pick in the 2012 draft. And according to MLB.com, his grades are his hit tool is a 60, his power tool is a 60, his run is a 40, an arm a 60, fielding a 45. But he's overall a 65.
It's a little disheartening to see 40 for run and 45 for field for shortstop.
Yeah, well, many scouts actually believe that he would be better off playing third base. And like we seen, the Los Angeles Dodgers traded away Juan Uribe recently. So that is a possibility, but yet they have Hector Olivera in the minors as well, and he's a 30-year-old guy already. So
Olivera is?
Yeah, and they gave him a big contract. So I would believe Olivera would be the first one to come up and play some third base. But you remember Howie Kendrick is done after this season. His contract's up. So maybe Olivera moves over to second base, and then Corey Seager will play third base. But the only problem with that is they still don't have a future shortstop then. And it would be nice to see them bring Corey Seager up this year and at least give him a shot at shortstop. But this guy, like I said, his hit tool is 60, his power is 60, and he's shown it in the minors. In 2012 rookie ball, he hit 309 with a 383 on base and 175 at bats, took a nice 21 walks and had 8 home runs. And then in a full in 2013, he kept it going, a 309 average with a 389 on base, 12 home runs in 272 at bats, though he did K 58 times. Still, his walk rate, very nice. This is a guy that has a high on-base percentage. But he was moved up to A advanced in 2013, and he really struggled. Just hit 160 in 100 at bats and only took 12 walks, which still isn't that bad. But really, that's the only time he struggled in the minors, and they've been moving him through the system pretty fast.
You know what says something good about him to me is in 2013 in A advance he hit 160, but then in 2014 he's still in A advance, he hits 352. So that shows me that he was willing to look at his game, figure out what he was doing wrong, and work on it. He just wasn't complacent to just say, hey, whatever. And I mean, that's hard to find in a young guy. I mean, these guys are all hungry to make the bigs and everything, but you don't always find a good work ethic.
Right, and he was just 19, 20 years old then, so he was still trying to mature. But look, he had 76 Ks and 327 at-bats in that good season of 2014 at A Advance, where he hit 352, like you said, with a huge 411 on-base percentage. And then he was moved up to Double A the same season, and he kept hitting the ball, 345 with a 381 on base. He didn't show much power, though, 2 home runs and 148 at-bats. But like you said, a big season in A Advance that year. He was MVP of High Class A California League that season.
All the classes in California are high.
Nice. 2015, he started in Double A again and kept crushing the ball. But his walk rate went way down. He took just 5 walks in 80 at-bats in Double A this season. But he only K'd 11 times. So you see that strikeout rate.
On-base percentage.
Oh, yeah, the on-base percentage is nice because he hit 375 in Double A. In Triple A this season, though, he's hitting 292 with the 352 on base. That's, I think, more of what you'll see in the bigs. You're not going to see a 375 hitter, obviously, in the big leagues.
Be sweet if he did.
But, again, his walk rate has dropped this season, Although, look at his K rate. He K'd 76 times in 327 at-bats in 2014, and he's K'd just 21 times in 144 at-bats, and that's in the highest level of the minors in AAA this season. So he really worked on his plate discipline this past offseason, and it turned him into more of a complete hitter.
Guy's a hard worker.
But his career numbers, 315 with a 378 on base in the minors. He showed good power, 53 jacks. He showed good speed, but he's not going to be a stolen base threat in the bigs, especially as he gets a little older. He's a young guy now. Might be able to steal a couple bases for you. Like we were talking about, though, we're going to have to see if he gets a shot at shortstop this season, because Hector Oliveira is going to have the first shot at third base. He's hitting 278 in Double-A right now, and only got 18 at bats, but he's not going to need much time. Like I said, big contract for him. He's already 30 years old. You got to give this guy a shot quick. Justin Turner's overlooked in his Dodgers offense. He's hitting 310 with a 382 on base this season. He was a beast last season. People didn't really expect him to do the same thing he did last season this year, but he's shown it again. But they still don't consider him a future starter for him, and they want to get Oliveira and Seager in this offense. And like I said, give him a shot at shortstop. Yeah, you have Jimmy Rollins, but he's only hitting 204 right now.
Yeah, Rollins has been garbage this year.
He's an old guy. Maybe he'd be better off being a backup shortstop these days. Someone you can place in there once a week.
Pinch hit.
And then, like I said, Kendrick, maybe he's gone after this season. Then you got Oliveira at second base, and then you can put Seager at third base. But you're still going to have to see what you can do at shortstop.
Having depth is never a problem.
No. And they're 35 and 25 right now. Seager and Oliveira are going to be on this team at some point this season. Oliveira very soon. Seager, I mean, they could call him up now, and I think he could produce. He's one of the best hitters in the minors. It's just, where's the room for him? Are you going to give him a shot at shortstop? Or are you going to move Oliveira to a utility role if he doesn't hit? We'll have to see. But I expect both these guys to be up there at some point this season to help.
His dad, Bob Seager, will have to make a phone call to Dodgers management.
I do not think he is related to Bobby.
It'd be a lot cooler if he was.
Let's move on to Steven Matz, the starting pitcher for the New York Mets. He is number 33 on Baseball America and number 57 on MLB.com.
Why do you think he's such a big difference in the rating? What do you think MLB sees that Baseball America doesn't?
Well, Baseball America ranks him higher.
Well, yeah, but I want to know what MLB sees, what problems they see with him to not rank him so high.
Well, he is 24 years old. The older a prospect gets, the less they like him sometimes.
Less value?
I don't know if it's less value. I mean, he's had arm issues in the past. It's just two different people's opinion, I guess. But usually the older a guy gets, the lower of a prospect they are. You see younger guys up towards the top of the list usually. But like I said, he's 24 years old. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's left-handed. So this guy is a very nice size for a pitcher. He was a second-round pick way back in 2009, number 72 overall. So there's probably why MLB.com ranks him a little lower. They're not. I mean, it's been, 6 years since he's been drafted. But he didn't even throw a pitch until 2012 because of arm issues.
Girly arm. Was he more of a power pitcher? Because they got his fastball rated here to 65. His curveball 50, his changeup is 60, his control 50, and his overall 55. So it looks to me that he's just trying to dominate with speed.
Well, his fastball sits in the mid-90s. It has sink to it. His changeup's a good pitch, too. You see it's rated to 60, like you said. It also has some sinking action to it. And this sinking action he gets on these pitches actually makes him a ground ball pitcher.
Hey, ground ball Chuck.
But he also Ks a lot of people. Look, in 350.1 innings pitched in the minors, he has 361 strikeouts. Now, his control, it's rated a 50. He's a little bit better than that, I think, but he still does have some control issues, especially a little bit more this season in AAA. But all throughout the minors, look at this. In rookie ball, a 155 ERA in 2012. Now, this was 3 years after he got drafted because he had Tommy John and he had continuing issues along with that. But he's never pitched poorly in the minors. His highest ERA, 262 in A full in 2013, and he's just improved since. A 221 in 2014 A advanced, a 227 in 2014 in Double A, and this season a 194 ERA, 74 and a third innings pitched, 75 Ks. The 27 walks is a little higher than years past. Look, in 2014 in Double A, 71.1 innings pitched. He had just 14 walks, so the control isn't as bad as I think these ratings say. Although this year he does need to work on it just a tiny bit, though. It's not bad at all, especially when you're striking out one per inning. And I mean, look at it, how many hits he allows. 55 hits in 74.1 innings. So this guy's hard to hit, and he's striking out a ton of people. So I wouldn't worry about that walk rate right now.
I got a sub-2 ERA for my career.
You got a 0 ERA. I don't think you ever let up a run.
Pitched 1 inning in Little League.
Oh, Little League.
Yeah.
That's different. They're sitting in first place right now in the division again. So they've overtaken the Nationals again. They're only a half game up, but they're in good position right now. Their staff is going to be beast one day, if it isn't already. Matt Harvey's having a little bit of struggles right now, but he's already shown he's an ace.
Pirates took a bite out of him.
Yeah, and it happens to everybody. Sometimes they just have a down stretch. Matt Harvey is still an ace pitcher.
1-3 in his last 4.
Yeah, it happens. Cole had a 1-2 stretch.
Nah.
Noah Syndergaard, he's had his struggles as well, but he's shown he is going to be a beast as well.
Another guy we did a segment on. You guys can go check that out.
Jacob deGrom is having a Cy Young type season. He might not be quite a top 5 choice, but he's up there, top 6, top 7 choices for Cy Young in the NL right now. And then Bartolo Colon.
Ageless wonder.
Yeah, he's still pitching pretty well. He's had his down stretches too this season. But
he definitely drinks beer all day before the game.
Yeah, he weighs like 350 pounds, maybe even more. What the Mets are trying to do is they're actively trying to trade one of John Neese or Dylan Gee or both of them.
They're trying to get Aramis Ramirez from the Brewers.
Yeah. And see, I don't see that a good deal for the Brewers, though. I mean, you do get a pitcher in return that can stick at the back end of your rotation. And Ramirez is probably going to retire at the end of the season, so there's really not much value in him. But do you really want to bring in these contracts for the end of this season? I mean, you got nothing going right now.
Yeah, the Brewers are garbage.
But look, Harvey, Syndergaard, deGrom, when you call up Steven Matz, I believe Matz is a number 1 type pitcher in another rotation. But I also believe Harvey, Syndergaard, and deGrom are all number 1 pitchers. So in the end, Matz might end up being a number 4 in this rotation, but they are one pitcher away from having a number 1 throughout the rotation. An ace pitcher at each spot in the rotation, which would be ridiculous to me. And let's not forget, Zach Wheeler is done for the season, and this guy is, to me, a number 2 or number 3 pitcher. So you could have 4 aces and a number 2 if they all hit their hot upside.
Matt's being a lefty gives him a lot of leverage too, because it's hard to find real good lefties, especially in today's major leagues. So if he can get that control going and dominate with that sinking fastball, he definitely can make a mark on a rotation.
I mean, just looking at this rotation, the Pirates could have it one day with Tyon and Glasnow as well.
And
but
Kingham.
I look at this. Harvey has the highest upside. Syndergaard probably the second most. I actually believe Steven Matz has the third highest upside out of these pitchers, and then deGrom, and then Wheeler. They have Rafael Montero too, who I believe is a number 3, number 4 type pitcher. So they have some room to deal some people too, and still have a dominant type staff.
It's gonna be a Subway Series in the World Series again. Mets Yankees.
I don't think the Yankees are going to make it.
They're in first place, or they were the last time we did a segment.
Yeah, I'd have to look. They're probably still in first place. The Tampa Bay Rays lost another starting pitcher, man.
Garbage.
But Seager, he's a guy I expect to be called up later this season. He is a future All-Star, a future multiple-time All-Star, and he should be hitting in the middle of the Dodgers lineup at some point. Between 2 and 5, I'd say, in the batting order. He's going to hit for a ton of power. He should have a high on-base percentage. It would really be nice to see this guy stick at shortstop because it's hard to find that kind of offensive production out of a shortstop. But if he moves over to third base, his numbers will play there as well. And Steven Matz, I think this guy, yeah, he's a little bit older. He's 24 years old. He was drafted, 6 years ago. But he's healthy. He got past his Tommy John surgery, and he's done nothing but shown to be a beast in the minors. And I see no reason why it can't keep happening in the major leagues. And Harvey, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Steven Matz are 4 beast pitchers for this Mets rotation.
I don't know. I think Harvey's going to struggle this year. I heard that he might have some arm issues going. Not like serious, like the dead arm or whatever they call it, and it could hamper him for the next couple weeks, especially moving into the All-Star break.
Oh, I'm sure, but in long term, I'm thinking, Harvey, this is a guy you want.
Oh yeah, long term he'll be good.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Steven Matz gets called up within the next 2 weeks, whether Nice and G get dealt or not, and I'm going to say Corey Seager, he's going to have to wait for Hector Olivera to come up and play. If he struggles, maybe he gets called up a little earlier, but maybe by the All-Star break, I would say, for Seager.
Yeah, Matz is more of a need for the Mets than Seager is right
I wouldn't say it's that big of a need. They're trying to deal 2 pitchers that aren't that bad.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, Seager just got more people in front of him, that's all.
Right.
And Matz being a lefty, that gives him a little bit more leverage over somebody. If a righty's just as good as him, they're probably going to pick the lefty to have another lefty in the lineup.
Correct.
Rotation.
That's it. Wrap it up, Maine.
Well, thanks for coming in, Dash. Thank you, fans, for listening. You guys could follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You could follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. You can check out our website. It's at spreadnews.simplesite.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to that YouTube channel.